So a few months ago, you guys saw that I brought home the brand new Exo Terra Incubator, the Precision Pro. That was in the video where I was discussing our breeding plans and what is going to be happening for this breeding season. Links up in one of these two corners if you guys care to go watch it. But it's been a few months from then. We've had some babies hatch, and I think it's time that I share my feelings with you guys. Hey, what's up guys? It's Mike with Alpha Reptile, back with another video today, and today we are going to be reviewing the brand new, or relatively new, Exo Terra Incubator. It's called the Exo Terra Precision Pro. Now before I get too far into the video, I do need to thank Exo Terra for sponsoring this video. I understand that you guys might think that it really influences what I say about the product and what I feel about the product, but that being said, I am allowed to speak freely. I can share my actual thoughts and opinions with you guys, so make sure you stick around and let's get to reviewing this bad boy. Before we get into the actual review, I suppose I should go over a bit of an overview with you guys on what it is and how it works. This product is a lot different from their last incubator that they released, the kind of fridge model where it cooled and heated. So if you guys are looking for something like that, this is not the one. Their brand new incubator is very similar to another incubator available on the market by their competitors, but this has some very distinct features that sets it up and above. If you guys are interested in hearing all the details as well as seeing the unboxing experience, again, links will be up here if you guys want to go check it out. It's a very detailed video. I do go over all the features and the unboxing experience, so make sure you go check that out. If you guys really do not want to go watch that video, then I'll say that it has a true thermostat incorporated into the incubator, and no other thermostat that I could find, at least on the market, has that available in it. And two, it comes with a very cool little humidifier that remains in the incubator, but you can also use it in other applications, whether it be in a pond, a little dish. There's a lot of different applications for this thing. With that being established, now you guys have some little baseline as to what to expect from this incubator. Let's go over how we tested it. We did two types of tests, one qualitative and one quantitative. Qualitative basically means that there's no hard numbers or anything to go along with it, and it's just us using our eyes and our observations to see how it's working. And the quantitative version is actually recording data points and kind of comparing the two. So in order for the quantitative, the numbers-based approach testing, Bree and I put in a data logger, basically just a temperature and humidity gauge that also connects to our smartphone and records a graph over time. Now, if you guys are interested in something like this for your tanks or incubators, I will leave an affiliate link down below. No extra cost to you, but it does help support me. So if you guys are interested in something like that, make sure you go check it out. In terms of the other method of testing, we used eggs. We actually put eggs into the incubator to test them, and thankfully we got eggs from Mabel this year as well as Rowan, and I think it's safe to say that they did okay. Now that we've established how we're going to be testing both the numbers method and the did it actually work method, let's talk about some of the results that we found. First up, we'll discuss the Exo Terra Incubator in relation to the data loggers data that we found out. You can see the post-proportional thermostat really coming into play. It kind of allows it to fluctuate like 3 degrees up and down altogether and creates more of like an undulation pattern, so like a wave, I suppose, and can be varied throughout the day depending on the temperatures in the house. In general, it is a pretty consistent up and down wave, but note that there is no real drop off when it comes to nighttime. And in relation to the humidity, it stays super consistent. That little tiny little puck in there that you guys see generates so much humidity. It's very well monitored and very well controlled. The second you open up, that little fogger is kicking right in and boosting the humidity back to where you set it. I believe ours is set around like 80% or somewhere around there. So those are the two kind of tests that we looked at in terms of actual hard numbers. And now we can move on to talking about the competitor's version. Overall, the results suggest that it is much more consistent throughout the day in that it fluctuates a few degrees, but over time. However, at nighttime, we saw a huge drop of several degrees. Now, I think there are some cases that potentially that could be argued as a good thing, like when incubating chameleon eggs and things like that. However, when you're considering incubating things like leopard gecko eggs, things that are temperature sex determinant, it can be kind of dangerous to let the temps drop that much for several hours overnight. That's definitely a factor to consider when you were thinking about getting another incubator on the market. But switching away from all these numbers and silly graphs and stuff, we can change to babies. Let's talk about some babies. I hate to break it to you, but look, this thing works. There are babies literally hatching right as I'm filming this. We have a clutch of hognoses coming out of their eggs. So I don't know how you can say that something like this doesn't work. We have seen no noticeable difference from other incubators that we have used in the past. In terms of hatch rate or offspring survivability, we have noticed no real difference with that kind of undulating pattern in the graph. Obviously, this is our first year using it, so there's still some data that we are gathering. So maybe an update in a couple years from now, I'll let you guys know. But as of right now, we've noticed babies are hatching, and they're hatching out well. We actually have had a higher instance of feeding from the hognoses right out of the egg or the first time offering food. And that is incredible because last year we used the other incubator and we noticed that the babies were not feeding at all. Now that could be due to other factors like the time of year that they hatched and a few other things as well. But preliminary data is coming in and it's showing that the babies are eating more readily than they were before. With that said though, I think it is safe to say that the proof is in the pudding. There are babies. It works. And now that you guys have enjoyed some baby time, some baby hatchlings that have hatched out over the last few days, let's pivot to talking about my kind of takeaways from this video and my experience overall. I think one of the main points of this is that it is different from their past incubator. A lot of people went for the past Exo Terra incubator because it cooled so you could hibernate things or kind of put them into a bit of a hibernation, brumation type scenario, and that made things very good. Now, the only problem with those incubators is that a lot of times their temperatures were not reliable, and after testing these temperatures and what we set it to what we are actually getting in the egg incubating containers, obviously there's going to be a little bit of a difference, but it seems to be much more accurate, and the actual thermostat is way more accurate in terms of telling you the actual temperature inside the incubator itself. If you are used to using the old incubators, you're not going to get any cooling or anything out of this, so just keep that in mind. Before you bought it, hopefully you looked at that or you're watching this video first and you can make that decision now. It really does come down to weighing your options. It comes down to, okay, do I take more precise temperature control or do I take potentially a slightly cheaper price? I noticed when I did my quick Google searches that in Canada, the Exo Terra Precision Pro is going for around like $270, $300, depending on where you buy it from. And the competitor's product is going for slightly less, but you also got to keep in mind that you're getting less high-tech products and all things considered quite outdated technology in those cheaper incubators. So if you're going for strictly price alone, maybe go for the slightly cheaper incubator, but if you're going for a balance of a good price as well as quality, this is probably your pick. Now, in my final thoughts, I think it's pretty important to talk about who this incubator might be for, and I don't think it really surprises you. This is an Exo Terra incubator. It's not meant to house 30 clutches of eggs, unless maybe they're like the Tachyphoidus eggs, which are behind me. They could probably house 30 clutches of those. In about 3 clutches, Brie and I have pretty much outgrown this incubator. We're obviously still gonna keep this one around because we need to have extra incubators in case we fill up the next incubator that we decide to invest in. But I think that it is worth noting that if you have tons of clutches of a year, maybe bypass this incubator and just go for either a kind of custom fridge one that you made yourself, or even just a commercially available, beautiful display kind of incubator. Those are 2 options that are on the table for you. If you are kind of a home breeder, hobbyist, that kind of deal, then this incubator is definitely for you. This will house, I don't know how many clutches of leopard geckos, crested geckos, if you want to incubate crested gecko eggs. This incubator is definitely big enough to house several clutches and not likely outgrow it in just one season, because if you just have a couple females, there's no way you're going to fill this incubator up. So I think it is definitely for those with kind of a home business, those that are just small hobbyists. That might be a discussion for another video, but just kind of like home breeder, hobbyist kind of breeders out there. It's definitely kind of on the moderate degree of expensive, and that might be I guess kind of like the worst part of it is that the price is kind of high for somebody that is in that market of like, oh, I have a clutch of eggs, what do I do? This is the logical path, is to get an incubator for it, and if you don't have an incubator, then you should probably question whether you should be breeding or not. But considering all the things that I've talked about in this video and making it into one nutritional nugget for you all, I would recommend this incubator. It works great. If you have super sensitive species, maybe look into something else. If you have chameleons, it definitely will not work because it does not cool. And chameleon eggs require a period of cool temperatures to incubate properly. If you are the one that is looking for convenient as well as relatively price friendly, this is the incubator for you. But I've been talking a lot, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave your thoughts about the Exo Terra Incubator down below, or any other questions that you guys might have. If you liked the video, click the like button. If you want to see more reptiles, more babies coming to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, leave them in the comment section down below. Remember, those of you who made it to the end of the video, we do have a new business. Bree and I have started the junglevault.ca. That is the web address. We are slowly populating things. There you will be able to find plants. You'll be able to find geckos, like fat-tail geckos, Urodactylodes, maybe some Chihuahua. There'll be a lot of stuff up there in the coming future. Right now, there's only a few things on there. It's coming. So I want to thank you guys all very much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Later.